Hey everybody, what's up? Stinger here again, and as the title of this video suggests, this is the last episode in which we'll be building the jungle, right? Finally, we're done with it. That's like the first half of the ride, right? And all the way up until the very end of the series, we will build almost no jungle anymore. There will be some bits and pieces here and there on the facade of the temple building, or the darkride building in general. Because obviously I can only build them once I'm actually building that part of the building. Yeah, once I'm building that part of the building. That makes sense. Anyway, right? So, bits and pieces, but those will really just be a few minutes in an episode or so. It's not really anything of note. And all the way up until the very end, we will not have any dedicated episode that's dedicated to the jungle, right? With the exception of like the last half episode or so, because towards the very end of the ride, there's some bits of jungle missing that I can only do after I actually build the temple exit, right? Because I have to build that first to build the jungle around it. And that's like the last piece of jungle that will be left to the very end of the series. And apart from that, we will now be focusing after this episode, we will be focusing on the temple, finally. So, enjoy this last episode of jungle goodness, I guess. So, enjoy watching, see you at the end of the video. This time we're actually having a real time part, so see you then. Okay, so as you could see in the time lapse, in this episode we've worked on 2 areas. The first one is this jungle part here around the entrance, and yes, I do realize that this is still missing, but I'll do that off screen someday. For this episode I've just done this and back all here. There's really not a lot of special stuff, right? We have this truck here, this overhanging truck that crashed into like this tree and whatnot. I'm probably going to adjust the ride settings here to focus more on it, because currently the ride doesn't really focus on it. You can see it just passes by like that, which I don't quite like, so I'll probably adjust that, but I'll do that off screen because that's boring to watch. And apart from that, this is really just a bunch of jungle stuff, nothing interesting. But of course, in the last episode we didn't have a real-time part because I messed up my timing schedule thing stuff. So let's talk about that, right? So let's talk about the entrance here. So as you can see, it's built this with these ancient trap slamming block thingies. This is of course highly inspired by Rudy Rankamill's what was it, fantasy gate type of thing. Inspired by that, that's where I get the idea from. And it works quite well. It's a bit sad that these are coming back so quickly. In fact, I can show you that right now because there's no train here. But I'm tricking a little bit because the train is actually inside the blocks when they're coming back down, but I timed it in such a way that you don't actually see it when you're in ride camera. And you also don't really see it when you're looking from the outside, right? Apart from that, you notice that I have built it in the original beige sandstone-ish type of texture originally, but then I changed it to this grey stone because, well, that just fits better with the grey surrounding stones right here, right? There's no sandstone whatsoever in this entire build, right? So it doesn't really make sense to have these sandstone structures here. So I decided to go with this kind of. It actually looks kind of marble-ish, kind of like marble, right? It has this dark color for one and this light color as the other one, and it creates this kind of marble effect, which I quite like. And here we can actually see the gate in action once more. Yeah, I actually also. There we go. I also adjusted the little bits and pieces here. These also have sandstone textures originally, but of course I adjusted them to have the same color scheme as the entrance. And in this episode I also added this little waterfall here, which is kinda just there to cover up this maintenance entrance here. I probably work on that a little more because it still stands out quite a bit, so I'd probably kinda try to hide that away a little more. Yeah, that's this area. And the other area that I've worked on is of course the entrance here. So the first thing I've done was, actually not the first thing, but one thing I've done is this piece here. I just filled this in because it was almost completely barren. I made sure that I have the line of sight here and here into the tunnel, so that people can actually look into the tunnel from here. And that the whole thing looks very open, right, so it doesn't feel like the ride is completely tucked away behind the jungle or something, but that this is actually kind of open. And then over here we actually now have a fence that's fencing off the backstage area with this little path here, or street or road, whatever, that's just leading up to there. Here we have, these are like these, I put some art pieces here so it looks like these are actually portable, right? You can just drag them around or something. You can actually see one of them here. That is because this is the actual fence, that is actually what's keeping people from getting into the ride entrance, but these are just like themed fences to keep people from just walking around on this place here, because there's no point in that. It wouldn't really be dangerous because the real fence is here, of course, but you know, you probably don't want people to walk there. And then the other thing that I've worked on is this little seating area here that I just tucked away between the temple entrance here and this backstage thing here. Because, well, there was nothing else here, so I might as well add something. And yeah, I just used this kind of stone formation here and tucked the benches inside of the rocks here. And that's basically it. So next time I'm actually going to work on the temple, on the entrance hall here, right? You can see the back of the entrance looks absolutely horrifying. That's of course because I didn't care at the moment. So this is tying all of this together is obviously something to do in the next episode. And with that, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And see you next time. Goodbye.